I say, how are you doing today? How are you doing today? Y'all already know I am your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, the best film writer and director in St. Louis. Facts, award-winning published author, actor, journalist, actor, business owner, nominated artist, Lacey G. Souldier Turner. And today, man, I got a very special guest with me. You know what I'm saying? He did more stuff than me up in this one, man. He been a part of everything from gaming to rapping, got programs in the school system on Hot 97, interviewed numerous of celebrities, man. We got the hip hop gamer Gerard Williams, man. Welcome to the platform.
Yo, you already know what it is, baby. We outside, son. Yo, dog, thank you for that great intro, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk, what's so funny is when you was talking about all the interviews and, things that I've done, literally today, right after our interview, I have the legendary Crazy Legs and the legendary Grand Wizard Theodore, the person that invented scratching, bro, coming to the show. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we about to be lit on Hot 97 out here, son. It's crazy.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So, look, man. So, you're a very interesting person. I looked you up. So, my very first question, I saw you was born and raised, and where one of the greats came from, where Biggie Smalls came from, Brooklyn, man. So, can you tell me what it was like growing up in Brooklyn?
Yo, so I grew up in East New York, Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? And what's interesting about growing up in Brooklyn, because the way my family situation was, I never met my mother. So I don't know my mom's. I never met her in my life, right? So it was my grandmother and my father. So my father, he was more on the gangster side of everything, you know what I'm saying? So that side of the world, I got a chance to learn about very early, you know what I'm saying? So from, like the crack on the corner, crack valves on the corner, guns, drugs, all this other stuff. I was exposed to it at a very, very, very early age. So what that did to me was it made me realize that I had to be tough. You know what I'm saying? But not tough just for the sake of being tough, but I had to be tough to survive because there was a lot of dangers, where I grew up at. You know what I'm saying? So that's one. But then on the flip side with my grandmother, she's the one who taught me how to play video games when I was 4 years old. So we always played video games together. She's the one who taught me about what love is and what it really means and stuff. And she's the one that got me closer to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So it was a big balance growing up in Brooklyn because I was constantly fighting off demons while in the search of my Savior at the same time. So it was fun because playing basketball, hanging out with the girls, me and my boys, my family. It was amazing. We had a lot of great times. But also is what crafted me to be who I am today, where a lot of people talk about emotional intelligence, right? So what Brooklyn has helped me do was to understand that when you're tough when you need to be from a protective standpoint, to be a protector and a provider, but also you got to make sure to be vulnerable enough to humble yourself so that you know how to give back the love that you also want in return. So that's what Brooklyn, shaped me to be, man. And I'm so thankful and humble that I had that experience, man. So, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And, we still going.
Okay. Now, to get into this, like me, I view myself as one of the top lyricists in the world, period. So I saw that you was in music too. Your name was the Jackal and all this. So how did you get into music?
Yo, that's crazy, bro. So what's so funny is, so my brothers and my brother and my cousins and stuff like that, they was rapping. And the thing is, one of my favorite songs ever is Biggie. It was all the dream. I used to be Word Up magazine. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I love that. KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane. Just growing up with all of that. And when I saw my brother and my cousins, they had formed a rap group. And they was getting a lot of attention and starting to make moves and stuff. And I was like, yo, I want to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was inspired, to want to do it. And so I wasn't just a fan. I wanted to do it. So when I was 14, I started rapping, but I didn't have a name. So in school, they used to call me Taz. So we going back before Jackal. They used to call me Taz. I was just always wild, you know what I'm saying? My energy hype, you know what I mean? Yeah. So then my brother was like, yo, we're gonna call you Jackal Flares, because you like a wild dog full of heat. So that's how my name Jackal came about. And when I was 14, I'm rapping and stuff like that. We did a show at IS 292. That was my junior high school in Brooklyn. And a lot of people may not remember this name, but if you're a hip hop head, you know, you're gonna know. But Crazy Sam, he saw us perform, and he was like, "Yo, you guys are," and he introduced us to MC Shan and everything like that. Yeah. And MC Shan wanted to sign us and everything, but I'm a minor, so if we couldn't get the group, he wasn't going to do the deal. And long story short, my brother and my cousins, they wanted to go hang out with some girls at Jones Beach or something like that. I think it's called Greek Fest or something like that. They was at, and missed the meeting. And I went to the meeting, but they ain't gonna sign me as a minor. So yeah, so that's how that like kind of fell through. But there was other, you know, opportunities as well. But I started to realize that the music industry in the way it is, it wasn't for me. So there was other deals that came my way, but I was like, I'm turning it down. I didn't want to be a part of that. It was just very, very dark. With a lot of things that was presented to me at an early age, and I just didn't want to be a part of that. I felt like I was dealing with enough already, and also I didn't want to disappoint my grandma. Yeah, and we've seen a lot of stuff with the industry, like with New Edition and TLC, you know, the dark side of those things. So I understand what you're talking about. So let me ask you this, you know, like hip hop is, you know, especially when you get to the technical side of syllables and rhyme patterns and the double entendres and flow. And can you explain to people how hip hop is like a puzzle, putting a puzzle together? Oh, yo, you know what's so crazy? I'm gonna tell you right now, this is why I love Eminem so much. I'm like, before you finish, Eminem is my favorite rapper. I learned everything I know because of Eminem. But go ahead, carry on. Yeah, Eminem, he's to me as a pure rapper, he's the GOAT to me. Like I love Eminem, period. So my thing is, what I love about hip hop and then the words and the vocabulary, it taught me so much. Like hip hop made me go into the dictionary with a different mindset. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop made me understand how to get my point across in a clever, intelligent way. And also hip hop made being intelligent very cool in terms of putting those words together and finding out this puzzle. And then also, because I'm a gamer, there's a lot of puzzles in video games. So my name is HipHopGamer. So everything that I do is also in relation to hip hop and video games. So even when I'm writing music, I'm like, oh shoot, like I see this word. Yeah, this word sounds like this. I can make it rhyme, but if I put this here and this here, I could say it differently to give it a deeper impact, even though it's the same word. So now it's not just writing, it's what you say, how you say it, when you place it to give it that punch. Like, yo, it's literally like you're sparring. Yes, yo. I love hip hop, bro. I love the intricacies of all of it. So, yeah, man, huge hip hop fan, especially of those that understand bars and techniques and utilizing their voice as an instrument as well, along with the bars and the cadence and the lyrical delivery. So, yeah, man, I love it, all of it. Yeah, man, y'all see Gerard over here dropping jewels on y'all. Look at this, man. Make sure y'all listen. Right? Facts. Okay, let me ask you this too. You know, can you explain the importance? Well, before I even get to it, because you know the importance of, I guess, storytelling in hip hop. Because you know you got Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five when they started with broken glass everywhere. That's don't care. You got NWA, Straight Outta Compton. You know, can you explain the importance of people who don't understand storytelling in hip hop, where we paint these pictures? Well, it's extremely important because being able to visualize what somebody is saying will bring you closer to how they feel. So when you're listening, like, for example, right, one of the best records ever written, ever, that deals with a story is Stan. Eminem's Stan. It's one of the best stories ever written in hip hop ever. Facts. And what's so crazy about it is, as I'm listening to the story, what's so crazy about it is I was able to understand Eminem's point of view, a fan's point of view, the need for one another, and the fact that timing is everything.
Facts.
Because he possibly would have got back to him in a timely manner, Stan would have been alive. Like, it's crazy.
It's so many layers. It's so many layers to that song.
It's so many layers. And what was so interesting about the song, which is another subliminal message, is that the song had 4 verses, not 3 verses. And a lot of times songs got 3 verses and that's it. But it had 4 verses. So the concept is that you got somebody pouring their heart out to you. And they giving and giving and giving and giving, and they never getting anything in return. So in life, a lot of times we feel like we give so much to the point where we drain and we ain't got nothing else to give. And by the time we get something back, it's too late. See what I'm saying? So that's a whole other meaning to the stand. You know what I'm saying? So that's the importance of storytelling, because as an artist, you want your audience to not just hear you and not just listen to you. You want them to know what it's like to be you in those moments. That's why when you look at 50 Cent, when he came out, especially in 2003, in that year, people didn't just love 50, they wanted to be 50, because this man got shot 9 times, survived, never knew his dad, lost his mother. Like, you got to understand how he became 50 Cent. And the stuff that we went through. So that's the beauty in telling the story. Many men wish death upon me. Stories, you know what I'm saying? These are the things that make you fall in love, you know, with artists. It's just like in video games. If you play games like Final Fantasy VII, or if you play God of War, like when you learn the story, that's when you fall in love with the character, and that's when you see a cosplay at Comic-Con or whatever, the moment you see it, you feel different. The moment you see it, it takes you back to that place of the story. So that's the important.
And
that's
how
you last forever.
And I write and direct movies also, so it's also like setting that tone, like with Stan, the beat set the tone. You know what I'm saying? The raindrop, all this type of stuff. Like, you gotta make sure you have that song on the right beat, you know, them verses on that right beat too, so it can, you know, just draw them people in. So it's so much technical stuff to go on with the song. I love hip hop just like you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you in my head, man. Just
crazy. Even the way Eminem rapped, we know his rhyme style, how he did it, but he rapped as if he was responding to a fan. He rapped as if he was just, you know, he didn't rap like he was trying to be bar heavy or whatever. He rapped like he was literally responding to a fan, and it was beautiful.
And the creativity of you hearing it sound like a pencil writing, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, come on, bro. What? I gotta spit the chain on that again. That joint.
Look at it, man. Once again, Gerard is dropping jewels in this piece. So let me ask you this, man. You know, with so many hip hop artists out, who are your top 3 hip hop artists?
Are you talking about all time right now?
Yeah, of all time. Of all time.
Of all time?
Yeah.
So of all time, I mean, that's always hard because, you know, sometimes it changes every year. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes because, you know, the more and more you listen to things, and as you get older, you listen back to things, it hits you different, you know what I mean? So things change. But as of right now, if I was to say top 3 all time, I'm going to go with Eminem. Then I'm going to go with Jay-Z. Then this is a tough one, but I'm probably going to go with, of all time, man, I'm probably going to go, and this is more so about feel and impact. I'm probably going to go with DMX. Normally I would say Tupac. I'm going to go with DMX. The reason why I'm going to go with DMX in terms of like right at this moment is because one thing about DMX is no matter what he was doing or talked about, he always put the Lord in everything that he did. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why that's important is because a lot of people think that you have to work your way into heaven, but it's not by your works. It's
Right.
through faith. It's through faith and grace alone that
Right.
you are blessed,
Right.
that you are saved. But your fruits, you will be known through your works because the Holy Spirit changes you. And through that change, you will see change happen when man sees you, because you be doing things different and things of that nature. One thing about DMX, man, is he accepted who he was in terms of his flaws, and he knew that he wasn't a good person. But through the Lord, he was able to be blessed to give back through his talent, and he was able to change the world with it. And that's something that the older I get, the more I listen to Rough Riders Anthem, I can also turn on I'm Slipping, I'm Falling, I can't get up.
Yes.
Just as well as I can put on Get At Me, Dog. I can also,
yes. Who I am is who I be until I die. So accept it and don't with it.
Yep, I can also turn on Lord, Give Me a Sign. So what I loved about DMX is his authenticity wasn't based on society or changes or whatever happens. His authenticity was based on his relationship with the Lord. And that right there is the most important thing in life. So yeah, I would say Eminem, Jay-Z, and DMX right now.
Right. I feel like you are my brother from another mother. We think the same.
You be family, bro.
Listen, DMX
already.
is my favorite. DMX is my second favorite rapper behind Eminem. So just to hear you saying this stuff is just crazy to me. Like, yeah, I love DMX for the same reason. You just broke it down.
Yeah, man. You know, so that right there is important. You know, everything. You know, stage performance, energy.
Yeah,
man, this man performed and almost had an asthma attack. Got his asthma pumped and then went back and finished performing. Like, nah, bro.
I love how vulnerable he was. Like, even crying, saying a prayer on stage, like showing, like, look, it's okay for a man to cry if they feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love it, bro. All right, we back. Y'all already know my boy had to go do some important business, but we back in this bug in full effect. Y'all already know, man. We don't stop.
Yeah, we back, baby.
Look, check this out. So the last time we was talking, you know, you was telling me Eminem, Jay-Z, and DMX is your top 3 artists, and I was like, you must be my brother from another mother, because Eminem is my favorite rapper. You know, I learned everything I learned from him as a hip hop artist, and DMX is my second favorite rapper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, with Jay-Z, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to debate that. But my third favorite, but their group is Bone Thugs and Harmony. You know what I'm saying? So.
Ooh, I love Bone Thugs, son.
So they're my top 3. Yes, and I remember I was telling you, I was like, I love DMX because, you know, even like on stage when he said the prayer, he cried and wasn't afraid to show his vulnerable side of everything. You know what I'm saying? So DMX is one of them passionate artists also.
Yeah, man, I love DMX, man. Rest in peace to the dog, son.
Peace.
Word up.
So look, let me get into my next question. So you said your grandmother, Margaret Williams, was a hardcore gamer and passed along the passion to you. Can you break that down and explain that to the people? Now, you don't hear about grandmas being gamers, so break that down.
Yeah, now I know, right? So the crazy thing about my grandma's, bro, was she didn't just use it as a tool to keep me off the streets. You know what I'm saying? I'm from East New York, Brooklyn. So she didn't just use it as a tool to keep me off the streets, but she used it as a tool to teach me about life and the importance in it. You know what I'm saying? So my grandma's, yeah, she was a hardcore gamer. Her favorite character was Lara Croft. You know what I'm saying? Favorite game, Tomb Raider. She loved Mortal Kombat. She loved Donkey Kong, Bubsy. She played Grand Theft Auto as well. Bullrog was a favorite character in Street Fighter. Like my grandma's, like she was the one. Like, you know what I'm saying? She really, really played. And what's interesting is that my grandmother told me, she was like, the same passion that you got for video games, if you apply that to having the same passion for your life, you will find your purpose. And that will allow you to continue to be a blessing. So between you know, going to church and her introducing me to God and showing me what love is, and allow me to understand that when playing different video games, you got different levels and objectives and challenges that you got to meet and defeat. And that's going to happen to you in life, the different levels and objectives and challenges. So because of my passion for video games, it was literally a connector to how I was able to develop my passion in life and now utilize video games as the way that I, move forward in life in terms of business and impact and helping people and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Gaming has taken me all over the world, man. I've been able to do things I never thought I'd be able to do, so it's just humbling that my grandmother gave me something and literally passed the baton and I was able to take it this far. So yeah, man, my grandma's was the one, period.
Okay. Salute to grandma up in this piece.
Thanks, son.
So I saw that you was discovered in 2008 by Torrance Davis. He on the website called A Bit Bag, and you attended E3 in 2008. So what was E3 and what did you learn from attending them? And can you tell us about Torrance Davis also?
Yeah, so to start off with Torrance Davis, man, Torrance Davis, that's the OG for real when it comes to gaming. Like, he's been going to E3 since the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the one, he's the true pioneer. And the thing about Torrance Davis, man, is Torrance Davis, what I love about him so much is that he's a stand-up guy and he don't care who you are. He's not gonna try to appease you. He's gonna tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. And he's always been about facts over feelings. And he's always been someone that does his research first. So when he speaks with intent versus just speaking from hearsay or guessing. So these are a lot of the qualities that I picked up from him in terms of journalism, because to be authentic and ethical in journalism, you got to speak from facts, or you got to have a great hypothesis to support, your opinion if you got an educated guess. Definitely. So it's just incredible, like the things that I learned from him, So that's one thing about Torrance. Dude is incredible. I learned so much from him. So shout out to Torrance. That's my brother for life, big time. And then in terms of E3 and being discovered and stuff like that, I got discovered because I called out one of Torrance Davis's writers because he was talking about Assassin's Creed, and the statements that he was making wasn't accurate. He was lying because he was more biased towards Xbox, and I called him out on it. Now, what I love about Torrance is that Torrance didn't take his friend's side just because that was his friend.
Gotcha.
Torrance is on the side of the truth, and he knew that I told the truth, and that's why he wanted to work with me and speak with me and invite me to be a part of what he was doing. And once he saw me do what I do and take it to the next level, he offered me the opportunity to go to E3. And that blew me away. So I went to E3 and stuff like that. And somebody that looked like me, talked like me, I could walk around with the big championship belt, like, you know what I'm saying? Talking to like major executives and game developers. Nobody has never, ever seen anything like that before. You know what I'm saying? And especially back then in 2008, you can literally count on your hand how many black people you saw, at an event like this. You know what I'm saying? Especially speaking from a standpoint of getting your gaming news from. So it was just historic. It was amazing and a major event. And I was able to do some of the biggest interviews. And when I came back to New York and I was putting out all this content, man, people was like, yo, how? Like, how did this dude get a chance to speak and be around all these major people? And how? It was, that don't happen. Right. Like, those things did not happen. So once they happened, it just became more real, like, to a lot of people, that this was a possible pathway career-wise for a lot of people that look and talk and dress and come from the cloth that I come from. You know what I'm saying? So it was huge, and it was important, and it was surreal all at the same time, man. But yeah, E3 2008, I'll never forget it.
Okay, man. Y'all see that, man? Look, man. Gerard is showing you that you can do anything you put your mind to up in this world. He called a person out and it wasn't a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? That catapulted him. So let me ask you this, Gerard. How did you become a part of Hot 97?
Yeah, so that was funny. That was funny. Let me tell you how this happened, dog.
Okay.
So, from 2000 to 2014, I
Mm-hmm.
worked in the mailroom. I
Okay.
supervised the mailroom for all the record labels.
Okay.
So Rockefeller, Dipset, Murder Inc., Bloodline, which was DMX's label, Universal Music Group, Def Jam, Interscope, Universal Republic, Motown, all of them. So what's crazy is, in 2008, going to E3, all this other stuff, I'm in the mailroom, but I'm always telling a lot of my video game people about games, like talk
Mm-hmm.
about this all day, every day. And then I'm showing them stuff all day, every day. Some of the biggest executives, people that a lot of people don't even know their names, like Monty Littman and Steve Bartles and Mike Kaiser and
Mm-hmm.
Sean Peckeyes, like these major names, Steve Stout and all of them,
Mm-hmm.
like talking to them about games and stuff like that the whole time. And then I ran into my man Davey D, and Davey D, he works with Universal Republic, and Davey D was like, "Yo, bro, I see all the stuff that you're doing. It's amazing, but you got to get out of here. You don't belong here no more." Like he told me straight up, he's like, "Yo, you do not belong in the mailroom no more, son. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to be like out, like doing bigger things, and like you really need to talk to Hot 97 because Hot 97 could utilize someone like you because they got stiff competition from Power 105, with Charlemagne and all of them." So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Yo, that's a great idea," but at the time I didn't have no connects, you know what I'm saying, nothing like that to get in. So what's so interesting is there was a red carpet coming up for a video game by Facebook called Gig It,
Mm-hmm.
and Neo was the cover boy. You know what I'm saying? He was the
Okay.
cover. He was the
Mm-hmm.
face
Okay.
of the video game called Gig It.
Okay.
So what happened is they reached out to me on email because I'm the only hip hop gamer in the world. So it's like you gotta come to me. So um so they had a red carpet event for the game. So I'm on the red carpet, and guess who comes through? Ebro, Peter Rosenberg, Laura Styles, the whole morning crew for Hot
Mhm.
97. It was crazy. So I interviewed Peter Rosenberg on the red carpet. But what was so crazy about this was that this is the time where Peter Rosenberg and Nicki Minaj was beefing
Mm-mm.
because Peter Rosenberg didn't like the Nicki Minaj song that she put out, and I think it was called Starship Troopers or some type of thing like that. But it was extra poppy and bubbly. It wasn't really like hood
Oh,
or hip hop.
Nikki.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So when we was talking, that came up a bit, and we had a great conversation. It was only like 3 minutes long, but we had a great conversation. Like you could look it up, Hip Hop Gamer, Peter Rosenberg, Gig It. Like you could look it up on YouTube,
Okay.
and you'll see. Um, and so after we did an interview, I was talking to some of the representatives of Peter Rosenberg and stuff like that. And I was like, "Yo, how come y'all don't got gaming at Hot 97? Like, we need to do stuff." And the interview was so good. He's like, "Yo, let's continue the interview and do something bigger." So they was like, "Yo, that's great. We love it." So we set up a meeting to go to Hot 97 and meet with them. And then long story short, I started putting content on the website, started doing this, doing that. And I eventually brought gaming to Hot 97. And now keep in mind, I don't work for Hot 97. We're
Mm-hmm.
partners. So
Okay.
I'm not an
Look at that.
employee of Hot 97. I work for me. I got my own company, but we're partners. We work together to do big to do bigger things. You know what I'm saying? So I've been partnered with them for like 10 years now, man. It's crazy.
Uh,
So from the mailroom to Hot 97, it's crazy, man. It's
Man,
crazy.
salute, man. Look, man, bro, you making me feel great. You know what I'm saying? Just looking
Yeah,
at the thing
that's
you
the way it's
doing.
supposed to be, baby. I'm
Yeah,
around, son. You know what I
facts.
mean?
You know what I'm saying? So look, man, let me say this, man. You met one of my idols, got to interview one of my idols. So how was it like meeting and interviewing Denzel Washington?
Wow. Yo, that was something. That was something, bro. Like, like my resume, when it comes to interviews, is second to none. Like in terms of the gaming industry, like I'm the one. I'm the GOAT, like big time. It's not even close. Denzel Washington, bro, man, that was such a humbling experience. because Denzel has an aura. Like when he walks in a room, man, he has an aura. And when he speaks, it's as if he's very careful with his words. He's very intent when he speaks, and he's always looking to make an impact because he knows his platform is powerful. So speaking to Denzel, just being able to ask him a question, see him in person, and this was the movie Safe House that he did with Ryan Reynolds. And I don't remember off the top of my head what I asked him, but you know, that's something that y'all can look up. But what I do remember is how it don't matter who's speaking to him, he makes everyone that he speaks to feel like up here, man. He makes everybody feel like they don't only belong there, but he has such a level of gratitude that you're willing to even speak to him. Like, he makes you feel like you're Denzel, and he's like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how powerful he is.
Oh,
so Denzel,
you mother though.
yeah, like he's a special person to interview because he gives so much back, and he cares about how this looks, not just for him, but how this looks for you as a moment in a project, and who's gonna see it, like who you're gonna go show it to. He cares about all of it. So everything he does, he treats you with the same respect that you would give and honor him with. But he also want to make sure that you leave with something that can be valuable, even if you never speak to him again.
Wow, man.
That's amazing, man.
That's crazy. But look, man, I don't know, man. My interview clientele might be second to none because I got the HipHopGamer Gerard on my stuff. What?
Yo, love you, bro. Thank you, man. Yo, we outside, bro. We growing, son. We making it happen, B.
For sure. So let me ask you this. So, you could have got into so much trouble, you know what I'm saying? So how did gaming change your life? Because, for parents who don't understand their children, they might be saying they wasting their time playing these games. So what can you tell people about gaming, and how did it change your life? Because you could have gotten so much trouble.
Yo, man, I'm going to tell you right now, son, like, one, the fun of being able to play video games, the interactivity, the feeling, like, and also sharing this experience with my grandmoms, that's what brought it all together for me. You know what I'm saying? And it was so amazing, and I developed such a passion for it that I didn't want to lose it. So my thing is, one of the ways that I stayed out of trouble is because I didn't take gaming for granted just because it's a video game. My love and passion for video games stem from the relationship that I developed with my grandmother. So gaming directly relates to my grandma. So it's not just something that I did, it's something that I lived. It was different for me. And I didn't want to lose that, because losing gaming made me feel like I was losing a certain connection to my grandma. And my grandma is everything. So I didn't want to lose that at all. So it allowed me to properly put my life into perspective, and it properly allowed me to understand prioritizing time and what I give to things and what I can get out of the things that I put my all into. And gaming helped me understand that. So that's one. Then two, another thing that gaming did for me, which was very powerful, is gaming helped me to understand the importance of discipline and responsibility. So I give you an example of what I mean. Okay. So with this is crazy because just thinking about my grandma. I got in trouble one time, right? I had a report card and it had like 6 U's on it. It was a real bad report card. And I got punished, and like, I don't mind getting a beating, but as long as I could go out and play the game and go out and have fun, I ain't mind getting a beating. But when I got a beating, and then I was told I couldn't play my game for 2 weeks. Now think about it. I'm a kid. Why is it that I'm 40 years old now and I still remember this? Why do I remember this? You know what I'm saying? So, dog, when the game was taken away from me for 2 weeks, yo, I was miserable, bro. You didn't want to be around me, son. Like I was a dysfunctional child, like without my games. I was like, yo, don't talk to me. I was really not the one. But the appreciation of what I lost in that moment helped develop my discipline, my character, my respect, and all of these real life values, just because I was acting stupid and I lost such a great privilege. So it taught me to appreciate better. It taught me so many things. That's what gaming did for me. So now, you know, when I'm in the schools and I'm doing things with games or with anything, I always try to find out what does someone truly value, and then leverage that value to help them see the importance of how quickly this can go away. Because all this stuff is a privilege. It's an honor to be able to do what we do. You know what I mean? But when you get in that position, do you take advantage of it? Do you blow it? Do you take it for granted and lose it? I don't want nobody to lose their gift. I want everybody to nurture their gifts so they could pass it on. And that's what gaming taught me. That's what my grandmother showed me. And now, in my position, is what I do. So that's what gaming has done for me, man. Man.
So yeah. That a lot.
It means a lot, man. It means a lot to me, man. I love video games, bro. Yeah. And also, especially the games nowadays, like there's this one game called Detroit Become Human. And I'm telling you right now, actor Jesse Williams, I forgot which TV show, it was like some hospital show, Grey's Anatomy or something like that he was on or whatever. But Jesse Williams, he's a star in that video game, man. And there's a scene in the video game where there's a guy and his wife left him and he has a child and he's abusing the child. You know what I mean? And there's an android that you can buy. Like this takes place in like 2035, right? And you could buy androids. You could actually buy computerized AI people, have them in your house. They clean, they do all this other stuff and everything like that. But because of what was going on, she started to become human.
Wow.
Not just an android, because she started to feel things. Yo, bro, it's crazy. This is all in a video game. It's crazy. And it looked mad real. So the point I'm trying to say is, like, from reading to writing to comprehension, like, gaming taught me a lot, bro. Like, a lot. In terms of daily life skills, gaming has taught me. So, yeah, gaming, bro. It's amazing.
Yeah, man, wow. So let me ask you this, Gerard. Do you feel games like Grand Theft Auto and Apex Shooter are harmful to kids?
Great question. Great question. So, the first thing I would say is everything you do, games or not, everything you do it in moderation. You know what I'm saying? That's very important because you got to understand what you're doing too. And when you understand it, then you get the grasp of it. But if you don't understand it, you just wilding out. Balance is important in everything. So that's the first thing I would say. 2, is it harmful? Is it harmful to kids? No. I'm gonna tell you why it's not. So if a kid is playing Grand Theft Auto, right? And you know good and well that on the ESRB, this game is for mature audiences only. And you allow your kid to play this game, then it's your responsibility to let them know what they're playing so they could decipher what it is instead of just mindlessly, blindly playing the game and that's it. So that's why I say the game itself isn't harmful to kids. It's the lack of attention and the lack of responsibility on the parents' part that's harmful to kids. One thing I've learned is that people always try to pass the buck when it comes to something to blame. For example, if somebody get killed with a gun, they want to blame gun violence.
Right.
No, The gun ain't do nothing.
The person
I can
with
take
the
a gun
gun
right now and sit it on the floor. It's never gonna move unless somebody picks it up and touches it and do something.
Right.
So the game don't harm nobody just as well as a gun don't harm nobody just as well as a knife don't harm nobody. I can take a knife and cut some cake with it and serve you some food, or I can take a knife and I can stab you. You know what I'm saying? So it has nothing to do with the inanimate object. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the mind and the person behind that inanimate object and how they use it. Because you could use something for good or you could use something to weaponize. Period. So the game itself ain't harmful to a child. And I'm living proof of this because I never been arrested. I never been to jail. I never shot nobody. None of that. And I done played everything since I was under the age to do so. Me and my grandmother played Mortal Kombat together and I'm 12. You know what I'm saying? So like, come on, bro. I've been playing Grand Theft Auto since I was a kid. And I never, none of that. I know what's fantasy. I know what's real. I know what's not. You know what I'm saying? I already know that. You know what I mean? And then another thing, if you want to do case studies, because this is what I had to call TI out on. So, the first ever Grand Theft Auto robbery that took place ever in the history of society was, I think, in 1939 or 1929 in New Jersey was the first Grand Theft robbery like that ever took place. And I forgot the person's name, but you can look it up. It was something that happened in Jersey way before video game systems even came into play. You see what I'm saying? So art obviously imitates life. So no, it's not harmful to kids. But what I will say is this. Whatever you feed your child, no matter what it is you give them, make sure they understand what it is that you're giving them, so they could be able to decipher on their own. So, like for example, even as a kid, you know good and well if you go to the roof of a building in GTA and jump off, you know good and well if you do that in real life, you're gonna die. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you know this already. I don't think you know what I mean. You know this. Yeah. That's one. And then two, if you're a child or whatever, when you old enough to know right from wrong, it don't matter what I show you or give you or whatever, because you know right from wrong. Period. So, for example, you know stealing is wrong because you wouldn't want nobody to steal from you. So if you play a video game and you say the video game made me do it, but you know better, then the video game may make you do it. You're using a video game as an excuse to do what you really wanted to do. Don't get it twisted. You see what I'm saying? So anybody that knows right from wrong, yo, my niece just turned 3. You know what I'm saying? She knows at 3 certain things that she should and should not be doing. Come on, B, we ain't stupid. So at the end of the day, I don't do the scapegoat stuff. I'm all about responsibility and accountability because that's the only way you're gonna grow. So no, the game is not harmful to kids. I gave a ton of arguments just now to prove my point. And I'll challenge anybody on this. I don't care if you're a politician or whatever. I don't care if you play Call of Duty all your life. If Call of Duty is so bad, I better not ever see an Army commercial ever again that run whatever. You know what I'm saying? Don't play with me. Because you can go there.
And the wise words of Eminem, he said, they say music can alter moods and talk to you, but can it load a gun up for you and cock it too? Well, if it can, then the next time you assault the dude, just tell the judge it was my fault.
I'll get sued. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. You know so.
Facts. So let me ask you this. So you are labeled the GOAT of the game. So what does that name? What does that name mean to you?
The GOAT of the game, son. The GOAT of the game. So I'm gonna tell you what it means to me. You can't be the GOAT without taking the hits. Period. So you gotta remember, when you're the first to do something, you're gonna take all the hits, you're gonna get all the backlash, you're gonna get all the hate, you're gonna get all this other stuff. Like, it's so funny how, like, right now in 2023, you got all these companies with diversity and inclusion initiatives. You got all of this come together and stuff like that. You got all of these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny how in 2008, when I first came into the gaming industry, trying to push this narrative, connect with people, work with people, and all this other stuff, nobody wanted to do it. It was so cliquish. It was different back then. But, and sadly to say, and shout out to my brother Terrence Floyd, but George Floyd gets murdered. Now all of a sudden, everybody is like, Black Lives Matter. Stop Asian hate. We
Power
being
to
together. Diversity and inclusion. Wear this. Wear that. Here's the money. Oh, somebody had to die. Really?
Crazy.
For that to happen? So at the end of the day, bro, this is nothing new to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? In order to be the GOAT, like I said, first you gotta be willing to take the hits.
Right.
2, you gotta be willing to stand alone and know that you're right, and let the entire industry catch up to what you're doing. Because they don't see it yet, but it's not for them to see. God gave me the vision. Right. You know, Jesus Christ gave me the vision. And now you'll see it after I do it. Lord, that's second part. 3, you got to put the work in. Like, you can Google me and literally see the work that I've put in, that I still put in, and I'm still the only person to do certain things in this industry still to this day. You know what I'm saying? That's 3. 4, another thing about being the GOAT of the game is not just the game of video games in that industry, but it's also the game of life. And in order for me to be the GOAT of the game, I had to give my life to Jesus Christ, because Jesus Christ is the GOAT of it all. So there's a spiritual analogy here as well, but that's what it means for me to be the GOAT of the game. And also, you got to be able to give back. Don't just keep all the knowledge and information for yourself. Put people on. You know what I'm saying? Help them help their families as well and what they love to do. That's what a GOAT does. You know what I'm saying?
Greatest of all time. Greatest of all time. Y'all heard it?
Facts, man. GOAT of the game. I stand on that, bro. Period. Ain't nobody like HipHopGamer, son. Period.
So, Gerard, tell me about your Playmakers program and the signature quote, "Character is your currency."
Yo, that's everything right there, bro. So I'm gonna tell you right now, man, character is your currency, like the way it was born, like, so to speak. And I'll tell you about the Playmakers program, but character is your currency. It was born because I see it. I'm guilty of this too, you know, but growing up, we put so much value into things like, you know, your chain, the girls you got, the cars you drive, or the sneakers you wear, the Jordans, like especially growing up in the hood, our value was always predicated on how much money we got and how all this stuff.
Facts.
But who we are was never enough. Who we are could never be enough. You know what I'm saying? And that was always an issue. That was always a problem. You know, and as I got older, I started to see more people fall into the same cycle, the same trap. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody values things, but never look in the mirror and value who they are.
Real talk. Facts.
Like, never value who they are.
Facts.
So that's when it hit me. I was like, yo, character is your currency. Because at the end of the day, right? Like, somebody could be like, yo, I'll give you $10 million if you do this. And based on who that person is, that person right there is priceless to me. Right. I will never do nothing wrong to that person. I don't care how much money you offer me.
Exactly.
That person is priceless right there to me. I love that person. Character is your currency. You see what I'm saying? And it started to like resonate with me every day. And if you go into scripture and God tells you, you know, do unto others as you want done unto you. You know what I'm saying? That's the golden rule, you know, and we're put here to love one another. And love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not boast. Love does not envy. You know, love does not keep records of wrongs. Like, look, yo, and we would never be able to love like how Jesus Christ loves. Right. You know, we all fall short. But the point is, when you really understand what love really is, it reveals to everyone what we are not, what we could never be, but what we can try to aspire to be. And character is your currency, man. That's the big deal right there. And then Playmakers program, what that program does, it does a lot of things. So one, it eliminates the digital divide, especially in the hood when it comes to the different schools. Meaning, when I make sure the schools have the latest and greatest technology when it comes to gaming PCs and things of that nature, even in the hood. So now it's not just about going to like these Ivy League schools that got all the money and they got all the equipment and all the other stuff to be able to compete and stuff like that. Now the hood got the same thing that they got because I brought it to them.
See.
So now there's no excuses. You can't say they don't get, nah, bring your A game. It's on now. You know what I'm saying? It's on. So that's what's going on with that right there. That's one. Then the second thing is hold on one second. I'm sorry. Okay, quiet. I'm doing the interview. Quiet. So now apologize for that. So now what's going on that's very, very, very important too is with the Playmakers program, I also have Chase Bank involved. So what I do is I take the top 8 kids, and it's not about just your grades. It's based off grades, attendance, and behavior. So just like in NBA 2K, when you got to get your overall score and stuff like that, you got attributes in real life that comes up to an overall score and put you in the top 8. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
So
I like
now,
that.
you know what I mean? So now you go to so now I take them, we go to Chase Bank. And when we go to Chase Bank, we have a tournament. Now everybody that's there is gonna make money. But what we do is based on the place that you come in determines how much money you get. And then when you receive your money, you only receive it once your bank account is open. And then your parent or your guardian, who's ever with you, they got to make sure that they got bank accounts as well. So everybody gets bank accounts. They start learning financial literacy. They learn how to double and triple their money. They learn how to get their credit up right and everything through video games. Crazy. And they do it together as a family. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't teach that in school, but through my program, you get it.
I like that.
And it's immediate. You know what I mean? So everything is, there's no delays that, you're getting your money right now. You're getting your account right now. And you're going to learn how to flip it right now at the bank. Yo, fire. So that's that. Then I take the principles and stuff like that. We go to the New York Stock Exchange and talk about all the stuff that we got going on. And now more investors get a chance to see what we already invested in. And now we're going to blow that up and make that bigger. And then after that, like on-site activities such as, Hot 97 summer jams and things, Comic-Con and things of that nature, a lot of the kids get a chance to go to. And then on top of that, eventually get jobs in the spaces and everything like that. Yo, Playmakers, bro.
Hey, you doing a lot, man. Salute to you, brother. You doing a lot of great things, man, for the charity.
Thanks, man. I love it, man. Through the grace of God, man, we lit.
Yeah. So one thing that I feel that is so profound out this whole interview that you've been talking about is Jesus Christ. Because, I put God and Jesus in everything I do.
Yep.
And nowadays, I see a lot of people moving away from God and all this type of stuff. Can you tell me, can you tell me why is Jesus Christ so important to you in your life?
Oh, man, there's so many things I can say. Yo, look, man, in the name of Jesus, man, Jesus Christ is everything. I don't exist. Nobody exists. There's nothing without Jesus Christ. All things were made through Jesus Christ, and wasn't anything made without him. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and the Word was made flesh, and that flesh was Jesus Christ. God in the flesh, Jesus is God. Changes everything. Right. It's amazing. So what does that tell me? My ability to show love to people, the love that I've received, the experiences that I've had, my eyes, my arms, legs, everything, man, I'm just so grateful for and thankful for because I don't deserve any of it, but I have it and I'm blessed with it and it's a gift. So that's one thing. Two, another thing, and this, I've discovered this kind of recent, but what got me closer to God was when I realized I wasn't a good person. And this, G, when I tell you, listen to this, bro, This blew me away, man. Blew me away when I realized I was a good person. In the Bible, it tells you that man will proclaim their own goodness. And the reason why people run away from God is the same reason why a thief will run away from the police, because they don't want to get caught.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's
and
deep.
what I mean by caught is anybody that believes in God as a Christian, then there's a moral standard that comes with that belief. And that means you have to die to yourself. You got to die to your own needs to fulfill the will of the Father. And that's why people don't want to do that, because everybody want to live their own life and do their own thing and do whatever they want to do. Wow. Everybody want to be a boss. Everybody want to be, but nobody wants to humble themselves and be a servant and be of service. That's the greatest thing you could do. So I'm going to give you an example of what I mean. Yo, G, if I was to ask you, right, how many lies have you told in your life?
Probably millions.
Exactly. Right? So what do you call somebody that tells millions of lies?
A liar.
A liar. Now, is a liar a good person?
No.
Boom. So that's one, right? 2, have you ever stolen anything in your entire life, regardless if it's small? It could have been the candy out the store, downloaded music, whatever.
Yes.
Have you ever stolen anything in your life ever?
Yes.
Yep, me too. So what do you call somebody that steals things?
A thief.
A thief. Now, you're a liar and a thief. Is a liar and a thief a good person?
No.
No, exactly. So have you ever hated someone before in your life, ever in your life, even if it's for a second, because somebody did something, whatever? Have you ever hated somebody before, ever in your life?
Yes.
Me too. You know what I'm saying? And in the Bible, it tells you, he who hates his brother is a murderer. So you don't have to physically kill somebody to be a murderer, because God's standard is holy. God's standard is perfect. You know what I'm saying? And we all fall short of perfection. So by your own admittance, you're a liar, you're a thief, and you're a murderer. We all are. You know, so the thing is, when I realized that I wasn't a good person, the 10 Commandments is a mirror. It's a reflection of who we actually are when you compare to God. See, when we look at man's standard, man's standard, our standards is so low. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
for one another. Because we'll do some foul stuff and then be like, oh, but that's my man, though.
Exactly.
You know, that's my man. We good. It's all right. That's my guy. No, it ain't all right. We horrible. We're horrible people. Just keeping it real. And that moment right there made me realize how amazing God is that much more. Because a lot of people, like, one of the biggest differences between, like, 'cause I know a lot of people don't really like to talk about religion so much, and I get it, you know, in this day and age, but the difference between all other religions and Christianity, as a Christian just following Christ to be Christ-like, is this is not a works righteous religion. Like, you can't work or earn your way into heaven or something like that, because God don't owe you nothing. You know what I'm saying? He gave you everything. You don't owe you nothing. You can't work for it. Right. So as a Christian, it's through grace and faith alone that will get you to heaven, because you have to repent and put your faith in God. Because it's just like if you go to the club, right? And there's a requirement to get in the club, and we all in line. If none of us meet the requirement to get in the club, we can't get in. Right. But if the owner steps out and the owner sees you and the owner knows you, yo, that's my man. Come on in. Like don't worry about that.
Yeah, facts.
There you go. And we all have experienced that. So Jesus is the owner, created all things. So if the owner knows you in that book of life, come on in. He put on Christ. That's me right there.
Facts, hey man, that's what I'm talking about.
That's how that go.
I want to be in the book of life too, God. What's good? No.
You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing that you can earn. It's a gift. Facts. You know what I mean? And that's why, you know, we're not good, because, you know, he's good. And in order for us to get in, we have to put on Christ. So when we're seen as his children, versus we're trying to be our own God. Exactly. And that's what idolatry is. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is that you idolize, let's say you don't want to live your life for Christ. That's your choice. Anybody forcing you, that's your choice. You do what you want to do.
Exactly.
But just know that you're gonna die. One day. We're all gonna die.
Yeah.
And whatever you do here, it ain't gonna mean nothing when you die and you gotta face the real judgment.
It's real tough.
So we're all on death row right now. We're all on death row right now. And look, I'll give you another analogy before we move to the next question. If you take an apple off the apple tree, the moment that apple is disconnected from the tree, and you just let it sit there, it's going to spoil you.
Yep.
That's it. Why is it going to spoil you? Because it's not connected to the root. It's not connected to the life. So us as humans, we're dying. Like every day we die a little. But when you're connected to God, when we leave here, we know where we're going. Right. But if you're not connected to God,
oh man,
this is it.
Well, I feel like I'm in church up in this.
You know what I'm saying? It's facts. Think about this for a second, right? To go back to the apple tree thing. Once I take the apple off the apple tree, even though it's disconnected from his life, it's still valuable. I can eat it. It can be nourishing for me.
Yeah.
But if I don't eat it and I don't touch it, then it spoils. I can't eat it now because it's no good. It's spoiled already. And what do you do with something that's spoiled? Throw it in the garbage.
Throw it away.
So you don't want to be in a lake of fire. You know what I'm saying? So whether you believe it or not, it doesn't change reality.
Hey, man, y'all see that, man? Gerard dropping them jewels, man. He dropped a lot of jewels up in this piece. So let me ask you this, Gerard. So on your life journey of everything you have been doing, what do you feel has been your greatest challenge?
My greatest challenge? You know what's interesting? You say that? My greatest challenge was me getting out of my own way so I could be able to grow and be great. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. One of the biggest interviews I ever done was with Samuel L. Jackson. You know what I'm saying? So Samuel L. Jackson was talking to me about his addiction, you know what I'm saying, the cocaine. And he talked about how he had a hard time getting out of his own way. But once he learned how to get out of his own way, that's it. Like he was truly able to shine because he let go of all the things that would be holding him back and all the dangers that he was bringing onto himself. So there was a point in time where I literally was doing the same thing. I was literally getting in my own way because I'm from the hood. You know what I'm saying? East New York, Brooklyn. What up, son? What you gonna do, B? You know what I'm saying? I used to be a live wire, bro. Always ready to be down for the clique. Always ready to be the soldier in line, ready to pop off. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, nobody could tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to have that mentality, heavy, bro, heavy, dangerously. Like, I used to be in the hood on the train by myself in East New York, going through Utica and all these other, you know, train stations and stuff like that with jewelry on by myself, bro. Like, I was like that, bro. I could have been murdered on some dumb stuff, bro.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they like talking about jewelry like that. Yeah. I mean, iced out everything, son, heavy. Because I wanted that status. I wanted that stunt. Remember, I told you, character's your currency. I didn't know that back then. Because my value was always tied to the things that I have, because I have much, you know, growing up in my mind. Like you know what I mean? That was the way I was wired. So yeah, man. Getting out of my own way, allowing God to be God in my life, and doing my best to be the best that I can be in living with those results. Just accepting what I can do and also accepting the things that I can't do and can't change. And also, you know, doing things that I wasn't good at, but doing them like I love it, like Mike Tyson says. And that right there is powerful to me, man. So those are just some things that, you know, help me get through, you know, just life on a daily basis. And but at the end of the day, man, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, bro, man, this is the best way
Right.
to live your life, bro.
Facts.
I have so
Absolutely.
much freedom, like, cause I'm not burdened by trying to be something that I could never be because I'm trying to make it to what. Nah, man, I could
Mhm.
literally just let God be God in my life. I do the best I can, put the work in, and have fun doing it. And it's a beautiful life.
That's what I'm
Beautiful.
talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So saying that, what would you say has been your greatest accomplishment?
My greatest accomplishment?
Mhm.
Wow. That's a great question. Um, you know, one thing that I would say, greatest accomplishment, and I'm gonna go award wise, but let me see if I got it up here. Yes, I got it up here. So let me show y'all something real quick. If I could switch this. See this right here?
Yes.
This is the Jerry Lawson Award that was given to me. And if you could see my name right there, so like that.
Yeah.
But this is the Jerry Lawson Award that was given to me. And that's my grandmother, by the way. So
Okay.
like that. That's
Yeah.
my
That's a
grandma.
good market.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? And this award means a lot to me because one, it was the award of me being number one in gaming media, period. And considering who Jerry Lawson is, without Jerry Lawson, we don't have no gaming. We don't have the game industry like how we have today, because he's the one who created the cartridge. And without that creation, Genesis, Super Nintendo, none of these systems would exist today. The industry as we know it today wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Jerry Lawson and his idea with the cartridge. Because the first system that came out was the Magnavox, but it didn't have cartridges. The system itself had like these games in it, and you could only play that game and that's it. So there was no market value because you couldn't get like a game and
Exactly.
put it on that system
Exactly.
or you couldn't do that. So when the Fairchild Channel F came out with Jerry Lawson, it changed the entire industry. So for me to get an award based around a person that changed the entire industry is a full circle moment, because just the way he changed the industry from technology and the culture and the hardware, I changed the industry from the standpoint of content creation, um, journalism, and things of that nature in the space, and also bringing two cultures, being the GOAT and the king of two cultures in terms of hip hop and video games, and merging them and making them exist in an authentic manner. And I don't mean just like some rapper doing a song for a game. Like, nah, I'm talking about really existing in these cultures. Man, it's never been done. So just like Jerry Lawson was the first, I'm the first. And this right here is groundbreaking. So yeah.
So let me ask you this, Gerard. What advice would you have? Because you got so much knowledge and wisdom. What advice would you give to any child who want to be a hip hop gamer, hip hop artist, start their own business, actor, actress? What advice would you give them?
Oh man. So first of all, there's a couple of things. First thing is, protect your dream. And the way you protect your dream is knowing your why. Knowing your why. Meaning, like, if you want to do what I'm doing or whatever it is that you want to do, why you want to do it. Because if you don't know your why, you're going to fail. And I'm going to tell you why you're going to fail if you don't know your why. Because if you don't know how to internalize what success means to you within your passion, then everybody else, all the outside noise, is going to determine what success looks like for you. And the moment you don't reach or meet somebody else's standards for your own passion, that's when you're going to become defeated. That's when you're going to break down, because everything that you do is not going to be enough for you, because you're always going to be trying to please everybody else within the same scenario. And it's not going to work because you can never please everybody at the same time. Right. So you got to know your why in order to protect your dream and your passion. That's one. Secondly, what you have to do is, everybody has their own fingerprint on this world. So what do you bring to the industry, to the culture, to the community, to the industry that you're in? What do you bring to it that only you can bring to it? And whatever that is, that's what you maximize. Because that means that every time somebody see you, they see you.
Mm-hmm.
I give you an example of what I mean. So I was on a red carpet with Covenant House yesterday, right?
Okay.
And if you look on the red carpet, you had everybody from New York Post, and you had New York, the Daily News, and you had all these other outlets, right? But when it came to my outlet, it says Hip Hop Gamer and Hot 97. Notice how you got entities,
Yes.
and then you got my name that's just as big and valuable as the entity.
Yeah.
Why is that? You know what I'm saying? The reason why is because not only did I put the work in, but I knew what I brought to the table. And now everybody else knows what I bring to the table. So you got to create a scenario where people follow you because of who you are first, not just what you can do in service and give. Because they won't respect you. They'll just respect what they can get out of you.
Right.
You got to make them respect you first.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for them to do that, you have to bring something of value that only you can bring.
Right.
Then you don't got to tell it. They can see it and they'll know it and they will approach you as such.
Right.
So and the last thing that I would say is whatever you do, put God first. Because you can put all the work in if you want, but if God decides not to bless it, it's not going to go anywhere.
Always, facts.
So you have to allow God to bless your work.
Mm-hmm.
So it can, and don't get like success confused with, oh, I'm making a lot of money doing this. Because a lot of money doesn't mean you're blessed.
Facts.
Too.
Yeah,
having a lot of money can literally be the destruction
yes.
of what you've been trying to build as well.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get twisted with what man say is a blessing versus what God feel is a blessing for you in your situation. Because sometimes a blessing could be an injury that takes you out of the game for a while to prepare you for something bigger that God has for you. And then when it happened, you'll look back and be like, wow, that's why that happened. And now you're bigger than ever. Mm-hmm. So be careful, on what you think is a blessing or what's not. Because the very thing that you may think isn't a blessing is the very blessing that you needed. And you'll find that out later. So make sure you walk your path, put God first, put the work in, and love what you do, even when it appears to not love you back.
Thanks, man. Gerard dropping the jewels. Gerard, let the people know where they can find you at.
Yo, Google me, baby. Hip Hop Gamer. Google me. I'm everywhere on every platform. Google me, dog. Hip Hop Gamer, to go to the game. I love y'all. It's one whole word, period, not separated. Hip Hop Gamer, one whole word. Follow me. It's going down, baby. Let's get it.
All right. So my last question that I love to ask all my guests: when it is all said and done, and you are long gone from this earth, what is it that you want the people to know about HipHopGamer Gerard Williams?
Oh, that my energy was always infectious to inspire others to find their character so they could find their currency.
Look at that, sound like it came out of a book. So great. It was so great. Hey, Gerard,
yeah,
man, I appreciate you. Look, man, I'm gonna send you some of my music. I want your opinion, because we like the same artists. So I really want you to give me your real analysis of this too, man. And I'm gonna send you my unreleased single that nobody has heard yet too, man. So it's gonna be going down.
I appreciate you,
your
bro.
opinion. And man, I enjoyed this interview, man. You drop a lot of knowledge, man. You got a lot of wisdom. You remind me of me. You let me know that I'm on the right track with what I'm doing.
Yes.
Like I told you, I'm a film writer, director. I'm a hip hop artist, activist, business owner, all of that stuff, poet, everything, man. So seeing your growth and seeing what you do, and you put God in everything like I do, that let me know that I'm on the right path. And God has been opening doors for me too. And even him, it's billions and billions of people in the world. He allowed our paths to cross. So I'm even thankful for that. You know what I'm saying?
Amazing, man. God bless you, man. It's an honor for real, dog. Thank you for having me, man.
No problem. And I'll let you know. I'm gonna write an article about you and put this in there, and I'm gonna let you know when we drop it.
All right, bet, let's do it.
All
One
right,
love and God
salute.
bless. All right, I'm gonna talk to you later. All right.
All right, bro. Peace
Peace.
out.